I had a little rush there for a second. All right, it's officially 8:02 here in the UK, so I'm going to go ahead and start things off. First off, I want to introduce myself. For those of you that don't know me, I am Brandy Clark. I'm the Executive Director of the Glass Arts Society, and I am currently in Liverpool, England. I am so excited by the sheer number of people that are here. This is our first virtual AGM. We normally meet at the conference, and we have just a small fraction of this number at those meetings. So it's very excited to see such a large turnout. I'm also excited to see so many staff people here too, because our staff normally does not make it to the AGMs at the conference because they're always so busy doing other things. So this is really exciting. I'm hoping, our goal is that our annual AGM will happen virtually every year. So this is something that we hope to continue growing moving forward. On the virtual screen, I wanted to take a little time and have all of our board and staff introduce themselves so that everybody that is here that is not a member of the GAS team knows who the GAS team is. And since everybody's screen, I'm sure, looks a little bit different, I figure I will just call on folks. And why don't we start first with, oh, my screen keeps moving, people keep popping in and out. Why don't we first start with staff? And I see Jen first. So Jen, if you would just introduce yourself and then toss the ball to one of your other team members.
Hi everybody, Jennifer Hand. I am the GAS Conference and Events Manager. I've been working with GAS for 2 years and was a member before that. My first conference was Corning 2016. Really excited to be here at the AGM. And I'm located in the Norfolk, Virginia area. And I will toss it to Madia, who was at the top of my screen.
Thanks, Jen. Hi, y'all. I'm Madia Huta. I'm the Digital and Design Assistant here at GAS. I've also been a GAS member since 2008 or 2009. My first conference was Seattle, 2011. I currently live in Dublin, Ireland. I'll talk to you again.
I am the communications manager here at GAS, and I've been here for almost 2 years as well now, I think. My first conference was Norfolk in 2017, and I'm based here in the Corning, New York area. And do we have other staff on? I can't see everybody.
Randy,
Sorry, I think so. I was just scrolling down the list because I couldn't see it. Oh no, KCJ KCJ is here.
Yeah, KCJ intro.
We'll come back to KCJ. I don't know where she is. All right, then why don't we start? Let's meet some new board members. Janine, you are at the top left of my corner, so why don't you get us started?
Hi, I'm Janine Chrisley. I am based in the UK. I'm delighted to be on the board. I am the director of the International Festival of Glass here in the UK. And I think my first GAS conference, I think it was 2004 or 2005. It was in Seattle. So I've been to Seattle and Adelaide and Murano and came to Berlin. And I remember you, Philip. You made quite an impression on me. So anyway, so I really look forward to joining the board and being part of this next journey.
Fantastic. How about you, Lothar?
I'm here in Pretoria, South Africa. I was at the first GAS conference in Seattle. It was 2003, by the way, Janine. It was first gas. And gas is like a big family. And so I hope we get to some more great stuff going ahead. I don't know who, Julia.
Hi, I'm Julia Rogers. I'm from the Chrysler Museum Glass Studio. I'm the Higher Education Outreach Coordinator here in Norfolk, Virginia. And I think my first glass conference was in Seattle, like 2002 or 3. Did you say Seattle was 2003? Okay, same. Yeah.
Yeah, 2003.
Cool.
Okay, James Devereaux.
Yeah, I'm James Devereaux. I live in the UK. Yeah, I don't know. When was my first gas conference? Murano, I think. Yeah.
All right, we're going to mix it up now and go to Mike Soroka.
Ooh.
You're muted, Mike.
I am muted. All right. Hello, I'm Mike Soroka. I have been on the board for about 5 years. I'm stepping off this current year for a sabbatical, I guess. I'm from Calgary, Alberta. I work in the architectural glass world, but very much on the decorative and public art side. So, my first conference that I remember is Corning. I might have been 2016. I might have been one before that, but that's the first one I remember.
All right, Annabelle.
Sorry, trying to figure out how to unmute myself. Hello, I'm Annabelle Javier. I'm a new board member this year. My husband and I, with our families, purchased Paul Wismach Glass Company in 2021, and we learned about glass from living near Pittsburgh Glass Center. We're based out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and my first gas conference was 2021 Tacoma. Happy to be here.
Fantastic. All right, Kim Thomas is up.
Hello, I am Kimberly Thomas. I've been on the board for 2 years. I think this is my last year of this term. And I am the chairperson for the IDEA committee. And I think my first conference was in Murano.
All right, Philip.
Hello, I'm Philip Murray Bandura. I'm new on the board. Like Mike and Natalie, I'm in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and graduated with my master's from the Alberta University of the Arts, studying under Natalie. And my first conference was New Orleans in 2004, I believe. And
Oh, wow.
I'm super excited to be on the board.
Awesome. Kate, you're up.
Hey everybody, I'm Kate Dowd. I'm new to the board and kind of new to gas, although my first gas conference was Seattle in 2011. And I live in New Jersey, but I work out of Urban Glass. I'm the director of education there. Thanks. I'm happy to be here too.
All right. Eric, you're up next.
Hello, Eric Goldschmidt. I have been a board member since 2019. I work full-time at the Corning Museum of Glass as the flameworking and properties of glass programs manager. So run some of the flameworking and science demos we do there. And I am also the conference chair for the gas board. And yeah, I've loved my time on the board and looking forward to more.
Awesome. Kayla, you're up next.
Hello, I'm Kayla Natividad. I'm also new to the board and new to gas. But I work similar to Mike. I work in the flat glass industry. So I'm an engineer for a flat glass manufacturer. We do a lot of work with glass artists from that space. But my background, I have a PhD in civil engineering. So I'm really interested to delve more into this world with you all. And Eric,
Fantastic. Zach,
I
you're
just pulled into Corning literally 10 minutes ago. So I might see you here.
all right. Zach, you're up next.
Hi, everybody. I'm Zach Abella. I'm currently pursuing my BFA at Southern Illinois University Carbondale. I'm the North American student representative. I'm excited to get going.
All right. Danielle.
Hi, I'm Danielle Ruttenberg. I'm the co-founder of Remark Glass and Bottle Underground in Philadelphia. New to the board. Kat is pushing the screen, and I'm excited to be involved. Definitely pushing for some, green and sustainability initiatives throughout the program. And also, I was just literally trying to think about my first gas conference, and I think it was Pittsburgh, and I think that was in 2005 or 6, maybe, perhaps.
In that ballpark.
Anyway, excited to be here. Thanks.
All right, so now things are going to get interesting because I've gone through all the pictures, so I have to figure out who else is here. Jocelyn.
Hi everyone, I'm Jocelyn. I'm originally from Hong Kong, but currently studying in Toyama, Japan. And I'm the international student rep, and I've been on the board for a year, so this is going to be my last year. My first conference, I think it was in Tacoma a few years ago, so nice to meet you all.
Fantastic. And Michelle Bufano, are you actually here?
I'm here. Hi, I'm Michelle in Seattle, Washington. And if you don't know, this week is refractseattle.org. So look it up. It is over 100 events, all centered around glass. We're really excited to get this week kicked off. I'm the director of Chihuly Garden and Glass, and just pretty much a really big arts and glass art advocate. So super excited to be on the board. And I am almost embarrassed to say my first conference because clearly I'm one of the older people on the call, but I think my first might have been the Corning conference, but it wasn't the last one. Put it that way. So there was one before that a long time ago that I went to, a long time ago. But anyways, I'm looking forward to many more.
Fantastic. And last but not least, Natalie.
Hello, everyone. I'm Natalie Rodriguez. I'm an associate professor at the Alberta University of the Arts here in Calgary. And my very first gas conference was in 1997 in Tacoma. And so I feel like I won. Only because I was in the other century. I'm also a former board member, and I'm kind of excited to join the board again for the year that Mike is taking his sabbatical. So thank you very much, everyone, for inviting me back.
Well, we are excited to have you, but it's not your turn yet. So I'm going to kick it back to Mike, who's going to take us through 2024.
Okay, perfect. This past year I was board president, and I think we had a pretty successful year when you look at everything we've accomplished. The growth in European membership is a huge step towards our goal to uniting the whole international community. That is one of the primary goals as GAS grows, is to be able to connect all the different communities around the globe in a way to help facilitate everything, really, the connections with people's careers, opportunities, and really be a conduit for people to see what's out there. We've seen kind of the world to be very fractured into small communities, even though this community is a little nomadic by nature. I know a lot of people have worked in a lot of different areas, but we really want to facilitate all that experience and help others grow. using this network. And so the Berlin conference being such so many new members coming in Europe. The first time attendees at the Berlin conference, I'm sure was a record, and just really the explosive growth into Europe that we haven't seen in the past. So that part is incredibly successful for us for the year on what we're trying to do as an organization. Us being selected to take over IFOG in 2026 was also a huge honor in a way that I know multiple people vied for it, but the fact that we were selected to take on such a significant event and for it to be trusted to GAS to continue on that legacy is exciting, a little scary, but mostly exciting. And personally, it's such a different type of event than our annual conference. I feel that our conference can grow and learn a lot from what the International Festival of Glass and the Biennale has done, and vice versa. Some of the things that we've done in our conferences over the years to be able to bring that to IFOG and make both events better. So we, for the most part, yeah, it's a successful year. The one thing that has been a challenge, and it's been the whole world is still facing, is as much as COVID is over, the economy is still not recovered from COVID. It's happened in supply chain, it's happened in inflation, it's happened with interest rates. Everybody's been affected in the last year or 2 or 5, depending on where you are. And it's been a financial struggle. It's true for everyone, and we're all working out to figure out what does this new world look like. GAS has not been immune from this effect, absolutely. And it took a position through the last couple of years to try to make it as easy to our members as possible. We've, for student pricing, moved to the pay what you can to try and help students out. We've taken down a lot of barriers to access GAS's material, even for members and non-members. We've not increased membership fees, even though our costs have gone up and up and up. So really, we've done our best to support the community. It's not without cost, but we did what was right because it was right. And so as we move forward, there is going to be some efforts on regaining some financial stability to get back some of the money spent over the last couple of years supporting the community. Still well supporting the community, but our growth internationally, being able to access more members, more membership, more potential for grants, more potential for funding, more potential for donors. And so we really see this international growth as an avenue to make GAS stronger, not only as a community, but also financially and more secure, which is important. Brandy likes to use the analogy, when you're on an airplane, you put your own mask on first. We didn't, but we are now. And so one thing that we have successfully done is the next 2 conference cities have so Texas and the one after has secured funding, which has not happened for a couple previous years. So GAS has footed the bill for the conferences. Still made money on the conferences, but not enough to cover as much as a normal conference would. So I see growth in the next 2 years because of that, because of the travel program that has been initiated this year, which is wildly successful as well. For normally when you start something off that's brand new, you don't know what you're in for. And I fortunately got to go on the first trip to Japan, which was amazing. And I could not take the time off for Oaxaca, but it looked amazing on Instagram. I think the travel program going forward is going to be a fantastic event too, for GAS to connect members and non-members to different communities around the world, which is very, very much in line with our mission and where we want to grow as a community. That is really recap for the year on what we did. I know no one likes spreadsheets, so the financial report's not going to have any numbers, but it does. This is sort of the strategy we're going to take moving forward. So that's last year. As I said, I'm going to be stepping down 1 year early to take care of some other things that the world has decided to throw my way. And in turn, a friend of mine is doing a massive favor, who already spent 7 years on the board and is now going to come back and help steer the ship for the next year, which I'm entirely grateful for. So Natalie Rodriguez will be coming in as president, and I'm going to turn it over to her for what the future holds.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Mike. This will be, I've already served as president for a few years, and so this comes as a sort of homecoming in a way. And I'm both excited and curious to see what the year brings. And as always, you know, I'm available, so please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. One of the things that Mike started to talk about was the travel program, and it's a really exciting opportunity, I think, for all of us to participate in communities that we don't know. And so, so one of the things that I think about with GAS is Ben Moore, and you know, one of the things that he said sort of consistently over the years was that a tide rises all boats. So the more that we participate, the more that we as a community strive and move forward, the more opportunity we're making not only for ourselves, but for our colleagues and our friends within the larger GLAS world. I'm just going to ask, am I frozen? No? Okay, good. Whew. So the next part of the travel program is going to go to Australia, and that is going to be to Canberra, to Adelaide, and I'm looking at Brandy and hoping that I'm saying Melbourne right.
Yes,
and so
Sydney as well,
and
Mittagong.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. So if anyone knows anything about sort of the history of contemporary casting or blowing, Australia has been a powerhouse in a lot of ways, in the same way Japan has been. And so I think that program is going to be unbelievably amazing. And if I could take part of March off, I would also go. And so the dates for that is March 12th through 12th through 23rd of 2025. It's going to be a nice part of the year, and you're going to get to go see a lot of really wonderful glass and makers, and in some of my favorite places in the world. The next one is to Venice and to Murano, and the dates of that haven't been released yet, but the dates will be released in the next few weeks. And that is to see the highlights. And I'm sure most of you can guess what the highlights are. One of the other sort of very exciting program that GAS is taking on is the International Festival of Glass. And so, like Mike said, it's a biennale, which means it happens every other year. It's moving its location. So it was in Stourbridge and now going to a place called St. Helens, which is somewhere between Liverpool and Manchester, and is in the historic home of Pilkington Glass, which is a fairly important, and by important, I think, one of the largest window glass producers in the world and one of the oldest. And so that's pretty exciting, I think. It's in their museum, and there's going to be lots of stuff happening there. What's great about it being linked with GAS is that it allows us to activate a second part of our mission, which is reaching out to the public. And so our GAS conferences are really for members, by members, about all as geeky as we can be, and the Biennale does a similar thing, but it's open to the public, which I think is going to be a great opportunity. And it also advocates for the material in a slightly different way. So the two conferences, so what we in GAS call IFOG, or the International Festival of Glass, is different from the GAS conference in a couple of key ways. And so a lot of the historic stuff that's happened at IFOG is going to continue to happen. There will be a little bit of spice added by GAS, but which I think will just make it really super fun. The first conference that GAS is hosting is in 2026, and in August 27th through 31st in St. Helens, Merseyside. Because I'm a teacher, I always want to ask if anyone has any questions yet, but I think we'll hold off the questions to the end. So the next thing I want to talk about is Texas, which is going to be an amazing conference. And I know I say this every time, or I say this every time that I'm going to a conference because I'm super pumped about it. But having been able to go to the site visit, the site is incredible. One, it's a very accessible site. I think there's always questions when we go to a place, can people with mobility issues or sight issues or hearing issues access a place? In Murano, it was a bit of a challenge making sites accessible just because of the age of the city. And I can tell you that like Texas is the university, it's one of their key goals is to have an accessible site just in the university itself. The other thing is, as a Canadian, sometimes I hear things about Texas that make me concerned, just because, the news always turns everything up to 11 and it's not necessarily true. And so the University of Texas Arlington is the 5th most integrated university in the US, meaning that there's a lot of delicious food very close to the university. And there's lots of really fun things. Our hotel is pretty close to a giant water park. They have a series of, it's like Uber, but it's slightly different in that for $5 a day, you can go anywhere in the city using an app. And so if you're thinking about going to Texas, I can only really encourage you to do it. The site is fantastic. The people that we've been working with have been super fun. I can say the selection process was one of the most joyful that I've ever participated in, because everyone really had championed each of the applications in such a great way. And so it wasn't a lot of like arm twisting or, sometimes there's a lot of debate. The debate here was like, it was just wonderful. And so I can't wait to see what the final conference will look like, because I know that the people who are going to present both lectures and LECMOs and demonstrations are some of the most cutting edge and, dare I say, bleeding edge people within our community. And so come and have fun. And we get to see everyone. And I think, is that the end of the agenda? So I guess now I do get to ask, does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, so now we can just open up the floor if people have questions, not necessarily about Texas, but about GAS, about where we're going forward, about plans. This is a time that you can ask anything you've been curious about, and we will do our best to have an answer for you.
I got a question.
Okay. Or
it's okay. For the travel program, does GASCO take the travel program, or will the community actually grow GAS in that regard, or basically what I'm asking is like how does one behind the scenes, how does that work?
Sure. So right now, because we're just about to go into our second year, so it's still liable to change is what I'm saying. Up to this point, we selected communities that we wanted to be able to highlight what they were doing, because this is an opportunity for us to connect with regional communities that aren't going to be large enough or are too spread out to host a conference. So that they might not be a good fit for our other program. There's still a lot of great things happening in that region, in that area, and we want to be able to highlight those and show them off. We are trying to do them twice a year, spring and fall. So on either side of the conference and as far away from the conference as we can. So we are looking for a warm location and a more moderate location so that we can go somewhere in February or March is our plan. So that's going to need to be a warmer location every year. This year was a little bit different as far as timing, because we were trying to hit the cherry blossoms in Japan. So we were at nature's mercy when it came to that, and it paid off. We got a lot of gorgeous cherry blossoms, but I will say we got back about 2 weeks. I turned around and immediately went to Berlin, and that was too much, and we don't want to do that again. So I think, Lothar, as we continue to move forward, we will have a more formal process, because now that this is starting, the ball is starting to roll. People are starting to contact me about wanting us to come and wanting to be involved. We're trying to use them in 2 ways right now. As I said, smaller regions where we can highlight what's happening there that we'd never take a conference, but we're also looking at them as site visits for potentially future conferences, because both Japan and Australia have hosted conferences in the past, and both have expressed a desire to have more conferences in the future. So trying to do double duty with these trips.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Yeah, no, I think the idea is really brilliant, because it gets a crowd in, and it's also a different point of perspective, something like that, of what's happening. Yeah. Obviously, I'm thinking of our neck of the woods. I mean,
I see you thinking. I see it.
What is the capacity for the travel program? Sorry about that.
No. Capacity. How many people get on the travel program, Brandy?
So that also fluctuates. We took 25 to Japan, which honestly, when we were planning it, it felt like a low number. I really wanted us to take more, and I think every day in Japan, I was happy that we didn't have more, because we were in some pretty tight areas, and we were a huge crowd in Japan, especially when we were trying to go to restaurants. We had a smaller group of 10 that went to Oaxaca, and it was beautiful. It was a great number. So we're still trying to find our sweet spot. I think our capacity, for Murano, Venice and Murano, is going to be lower. We're going to cap it at 20. Is our plan right now, but we have also been talking about somewhere around 15 being the real ideal number as far as group size. We have to look at the math on that, obviously, because the cost of each tour is reflective of what we're going to be doing and covering gas costs, and we'll still have to make that make sense for us. But 15 to 20 is probably where we're going to land moving forward. Mike Soroka.
I think a point also want to bring up in the travel program is it's really the reincarnation of the collectors tour. That when we had a conference, there was a collectors tour, and we had to run them in tandem, and that was hard. And I think having the travel program allows a lot more people to be, it's still a tour, but getting to see a lot more spaces than where we would hold a conference, but also doesn't take away from the conference experience with the staff being torn into, and it was a big thing running things overlapping. So I think it's great. The collectors tour was good, although one of the things that we're noticing in our community is there are less collectors, and that seems to be a trend moving forward as well. So the travel program, I think, is a very appropriate response to the way that we see the world becoming and how we remain relevant in that world. And so I'm super excited. The first year was as successful as it is, but I think for those who have seen collectors tours at past conferences, you won't see them at future conferences probably. But I think this is the next generation of that, and I think it's 10 times better.
And I just want to say, Mike mentioned that he went on the Japan tour. Mike went as a participant. He was not a worker bee for GAS. So he really got the full travel program experience. And I think really,
you wouldn't let me.
I would not.
I tried.
He did. But you know what? Even our GAS folks, if they come and they pay, they need to be able to have all the fun that everybody else does and take their GAS hat off and just kick back and enjoy themselves. So tried to let that happen.
And I might just add too that this is an opportunity for people who don't know much about glass and glass collecting and making to participate in different parts of the world and get to understand our community in a different way, because not everyone who's gone on the first two at least have been makers or collectors. So I think that's the other exciting part for me, is that it is really opening up our community in a different way.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Natalie. And both folks going to the tour and the folks that we're connecting with in these places, because we do try to, even though we are the Glass Art Society and all of these tours definitely have a very thick glass thread that runs through them, we aren't only focused on glass. We try to highlight all the other things that make the location so rich. We do focus on the historical culture of the region. We focus on food. We look at the different arts and crafts that come out of that region. So we try to make it a really well-rounded trip that has just glassy undertones throughout. So that's our approach to it. So that even if folks, because I know we're all glass people, we all have glass, or we all have partners, spouses, etc., that maybe aren't glass people, and maybe at this point are tired of being dragged to glass events. So it's nice to be able to provide an exciting opportunity that even those non-glass partners can thoroughly enjoy. All right, Diane. Diane, I lost you. Oh, I think she was trying to unmute herself and exited herself. So we'll see if she comes back. Any other questions while we wait to see if Diane comes back with hers? Annabelle.
So I just had a quick question. Michael mentioned that Berlin had a lot of first timers to GAS. And I didn't know if that increased membership as well.
It did. So that is a lot of, he mentioned the growth in European memberships, and that is where it predominantly came from. Because we haven't been back to Europe since 2018, we saw a lot of Europeans come through this year that had never been to a GAS conference before. And with that, we also made some changes to the way we are coding our finances and reporting on them, just so we have a better idea of what's happening. We started dividing our membership. So when we look at it, we can tell how much is coming from North American membership, how much is coming from Europe, how much is coming from Asia and from other, so that we can track that, because we've had some ideas that things were growing, but we haven't had the right tools to show that growth. So we made that adjustment this year, and it's something I'm particularly excited to track. But yes, that was directly tied to the increase in European membership that he mentioned.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right, Diane, you're up again.
Sorry, I don't know how to use the Google Meet site well. Trying to turn the microphone on and I killed you all. So back on the travel program, is that designed for artists, for collectors, for miscellaneous people? I mean, it's pretty expensive for someone who's not a glass person.
Yes, so it is designed for everyone. Yes, we think that a lot of working artists, it is not designed specifically for them. But when I look at the people that have gone on the trip, we've had a mix of artists, collectors, industry folks, a couple of non-glass people. So we've had a really good and interesting mix of people that have come through. But when we first sat down and started planning it, as Mike said, it was to take the place of the collectors tours. So that was the audience that we were focused on.
And how are you reaching, though, the collectors?
So we are through a lot of our partners. We have partnerships with other organizations that we do cross promotion with. So we're using a lot of those to get promotion out. We are also using social media ad buys. We're buying ads in auction catalogs for all the glass organizations. So we are still tweaking that, but those are the ways we've been reaching folks. One of the most interesting things that we've heard from both the Japan trip and the Oaxaca trip is that some of the folks that came were not on our mailing list, did not get it, but they had a friend that was on our mailing list and got the initial email about the travel program, and that friend started forwarding. So friends are forwarding that, and that's something that we're trying to encourage more of as we're building our audience.
Okay, because a group like the Arizona Glass Alliance would be a great target for you, because that is basically collectors and people with a lot of money.
That is a great one, Diane. I'm making note of that, because those are the types of groups that we want to get in front of. And some of them we have relationships with. Some of them, like this group in Arizona, we don't have existing relationships with. So those would be good ones for us to reach out to and build that relationship.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
More questions? Just an outpouring of enthusiasm.
A new staff member.
Thank you, Eric. What was that, Mike?
A new staff member did join.
Oh, a new staff member joined. Who is it? Let's put them on the spot. Oh, Julie Thompson, I see you. You're muted.
I apologize for joining late. I was picking up my children from school. So hello, everybody. And Very nice to see you at the AGM.
So Julie is our development manager, and she is in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We made all the board and staff introduce themselves when we started,
Oh,
Julie. That's
okay.
why you're getting put on the spot.
I apologize. I'm glad I washed my hair then, huh? Yes, I live in Philadelphia. I'm in the development manager. I have had the pleasure of joining 2 exceptional trips, the travel program this year to Japan and to Oaxaca. And I cannot say enough about the goodwill that it is generating for the Glass Art Society, how we are growing our audience and expanding our reach into communities that otherwise we would not be able to get to, profiling glass communities that would not have the opportunity to showcase their work to collectors. It's just been a win-win from both sides, and it's early days in the first year, and I honestly think, given that we've only had 2 programs, it's been a great start. So I'm excited for where this goes next year. And yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say. I'm also, the fundraising continues to be challenging for our organization in the best way it's supposed to be. We are always trying to raise funds for scholarships, for our conference, for all the work that we need to do, and we continue to count on your support. So thank you for everything that you are all doing, for being a part of this meeting, and I am available to answer any questions if you ever need to reach me. So thank you.
So I think everybody knows this, but just to clarify for everybody, we are a very small team. You've now met everyone on staff with the exception of KCJ. So we are a 6-person staff, and mostly in North America besides Madia and myself. So small but mighty team, very passionate group, and we now have 21 board members. So we had some board growth this year, which is really exciting, but that also feels very small looking at all of the things that we're trying to accomplish. So I can't say enough great things about the board and the staff. They all work with their entire hearts and make gas happen. Diane, you're up again.
Back on the travel, who is coordinating that?
So it's us. It is our team. We work with, for the Japan trip, Lisa Zerkowitz and Erica Tata, who is a former board member. They are both on the ground in Japan and were vital to helping us put that trip together and coordinate it. In Oaxaca, we worked with one of our glass partners in Oaxaca. His wife actually runs a tour program, so she was helping us with that. As we're planning Murano and Venice and Australia, we are working with individuals on the ground there, but it is all running through our office. We're very heavily involved in developing the itinerary and the relationships that go into those tours.
Okay, but what I really want to know is who can I send the contact information for the Arizona Glass Alliance to?
You can send it to Julie and to me.
Okay, because I'd like to, I think you need to get them sucked in.
I agree with you. I'm over the moon to have that new name on our list, and we will reach out to them. Our communications team is also very involved in all of those trade agreements and getting that different advertising out. So if you send it to me or Julie, we'll make sure that it gets tackled. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Julie. All right. Anything else? I feel like the travel program's been the hot topic tonight. Nobody's even going to try to find out where the next 3 conferences are. I'm so disappointed.
I was just going to say thank you to the staff, because you guys work so hard and you're taking on so much. It's really impressive right now. And I know that you'll be overwhelmed with all your new adventures, but hopefully we're here to help you.
I have no doubt. No doubt. We have just such a great board, and I'm so excited. Most of the faces on here tonight are new board members, which is just mind-boggling to me, and in the best way. I'm so excited. And everybody's figuring out Google Meet, which I love. Lothar.
So where's 3 the next? Yeah,
Well, I'm not going to tell you.
I'm curious. I know.
People always try. So I just am disappointed when people don't try. But yes, I'm never going to crack.
Oh, that's thunder. We might even get rain. No, it was in the back of my mind. I was wondering what happened after Texas, but it's always nice to get that surprise. So it's good to that, and done a good job on that. Now we'll be able to give a hand on.
Well, and one reason that we do that, we like the drama of a surprise as much as anyone else, maybe a little more than most people, in fact. But one of the reasons that we do that is because we want folks to focus on the upcoming conference. We don't want them thinking about what the next conference is, because the conference that's right in front of us is the most important conference to us. And we want it to be the best conference that it can possibly be. So we don't want to take attention away from that conference so that people are saying, oh, when are we going to go back to Sweden? Things like that. But yeah. And Janine, I know I saw a hand.
Good.
Well, of course, I'm going to ask about something very dear to my heart, which will be IFOG.
Yes.
So just double checking. Obviously, you've got a very small team there, and you're going to be taking on the festival over here. And I know we've talked a bit about that separately. So, do you see that being a completely separate team of people who are working on that, or will the team here also be part of that planning?
It will be a hybrid situation. So our current GAS team will be intimately involved in the festival, because we want it to have the same sort of feel as our conference. Even though it is still going to remain the festival, we're trying to make sure that our brand is consistent through all of our programs. So our team will be involved in it, but we will also be because we are only 6 people, and the festival is its whole thing, as you know. So we will be bringing on a lot of contract laborers, just like you did for the festival. So we'll have a team here on the ground in the UK that's doing a lot of the day-to-day stuff, while the GAS team is doing more oversight and planning.
Okay. All right. And just a quick update on the trademarks that we've got the trademark for the British Glass Biennale. That's fine. We're still working on the festival one. They want more information.
Okay. From me?
Sorry?
Or from you?
Not from you. No, no, they need more information from us, because they say that those words are just descriptive. So we're just working on that.
Okay, perfect. Well, let me know if you need anything. Annabelle.
Can you just talk a little bit about what the difference is between the British Glass Biennale and IFOG?
Absolutely. So IFOG is the festival. It starts on Thursday and goes through Monday, and it encompasses lots of activities, including demonstrations and events and talks. The Biennale is an exhibition, as that is part of the festival.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. I feel like that's one of the most common questions. I can't believe you thought I might get that wrong, Mike. But no, that's one of the most common questions about it as we've taken this on. There is especially folks that haven't been through the festival and haven't participated, don't really understand the difference. So any other questions about IFOG or the Biennale? Oh, I just put my screen to sleep. I hope it didn't hang up on you. I didn't.
Brandy,
No more.
it
Yes,
is
ma'am.
3 minutes to the hour.
It
And I
is.
think we scheduled this to the hour. And so maybe we can thank everyone and for showing up and encourage you all to come to Texas, encourage you all to spread the news about the travel program as far as and wide as you can. And we can't wait to see you guys in the spring, our spring.
Yes, again, thank you all for coming. I'm so thrilled by just the number of you that are here. This is just very satisfying, having been in many empty rooms at a conference, holding this meeting where it's just us. So thank you all for showing up at all the various hours. And now hopefully have a better sense of who we are, the GAS team, both staff and board, and know that if you do have questions or comments, thoughts, whatnot, as we just go through the year, that you can reach out to us, because this is our community, and we're all here because we want to make it stronger. So on that note, 2 minutes to spare. Thank you all, and I hope you have a good rest of your day, evening. There's Willow. Willow also is part of the GAS team, our youngest GAS team member. Her first conference was Berlin. All right.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks.